Hello, everyone. Welcome, Seattle Fire, Rotarians, and guests. I'm Cindy Runger, president of Seattle Rotary. So this is a special day for the Seattle Fire Department. Yes, please go ahead and feel free and stand. Yes. And for 4 years, Seattle Rotary has been honored to be part of the awards luncheon. Today is a time to celebrate those in the Seattle Fire Department and the community who have gone beyond the call of duty. And because we're celebrating together, I'd like to take a moment for us to greet each other, a moment to say hello. So please look around, stand up, find someone that you haven't said hello to or know, and ask this question. Has a firefighter ever made an impact in your life? You have 2 minutes. Go. All right, thank you, everyone. I love the lively discussions. Okay, and now, we will have the Seattle Firefighters Pipes and Drums Band and Honor Guard to present the colors to start today's events. Yes, please be seated. Wow. So, Chief Scoggins, where are you? Can we start every Rotary meeting with the band? Okay. So, at this point, I'd like to welcome to the stage our MC, Seattle Rotarian and King Fives, Mark Wright, and Seattle Fire Deputy Chief Tom Walsh.
Thank you, President Cindy, fellow Rotarians, members of the Seattle Fire Department, friends, guests. What a great day. Tom, it's good to be back on stage with you. I told Tom last year if this whole fire department thing doesn't work out, he may have a future in television. This guy is good. I thought that would be funnier when I wrote that earlier. Okay, maybe I should just go back. Thank you, Ken. But seriously, I look forward to this day every year. This is a day that we honor the men and women of the Seattle Fire Department for the service. I want you guys to think about something for a minute. What would our society be like without first responders? What would it be like if they were not just a phone call away? How frightening it would be, just everyday life, not knowing what would happen. We are so fortunate that we have not only first responders, but some of the very best in the world in this room today. And today is really a chance for us to simply say thank you. How many of you in this room have had to call 911 at some point in your life and ask for help? Show of hands. That's probably 80% of this room. So, yeah, this is a meaningful day for us. Thank you so much that all of you are here for a very special day. At this time, I'd like to invite up Seattle Fire Department Chaplain Abby Hodge for our invocation today.
Good afternoon. We give thanks today for this opportunity to come together to celebrate and to honor the abundant gifts and the tremendous dedication of those who model what it means to serve. We acknowledge and we give thanks to Rotary International, whose members themselves are defined by service. And we give thanks for this opportunity to be gathered around this meal as we celebrate those who each day are here to serve with their gifts of mind, strength, and heart.
Thank you, Chaplain Hodge. I'd like to acknowledge the visiting Rotarians in the audience today. If you're not from Seattle 4 and you're visiting us today, if you could stand, we'd like to recognize your presence today. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Seattle. Also, would members of the Seattle Fire Department, their families, and distinguished guests please rise? We'd like to welcome you and recognize you at this point. We have the Cambodian Consul General with us today. Mr. Consul General, if you could stand. And also from the Seattle City Government, City Council members Teresa Mosqueda, Sally Bagshaw, and Lisa Herbold, if you would please stand and be recognized. Thank you for being here today. And now would Deputy Mayor Mike Fong please come forward to say a few words.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Mayor Durkin, I want to welcome all of you to this year's Seattle Fire Department's annual awards luncheon. And thank you for the opportunity to join you this afternoon. A couple of folks I want to recognize as well. Special thanks to Cindy Runger and Seattle Rotary for welcoming us and hosting us today. And I think one more round of applause is necessary for the Walter Kilgore Memorial Honor Guard and Pipes and Drums for kicking off the ceremony. Also, of course, would like to recognize our incredible Fire Chief, Chief Scoggins. And both the president of Local 27, Kenny Stewart, and President Local 2898, Deputy Chief Walsh. Thank you for your leadership. So again, I am so pleased to be here again to join you to celebrate and honor the department's annual award recipients. Last year, I was deeply moved by the many stories of heroism, selflessness, and compassion by the men and women of the Seattle Fire Department. These award recipients are the embodiment of the excellence in service and leadership in the line of duty on behalf of our community. Just last week, I had the fortunate opportunity to spend a little time with some firefighters at Station 10, listening and learning about the emergent challenges that you're all facing as our city continues to grow and the job of the firefighter continues to evolve. But one constant that I heard was, in spite of how the profession is changing, the commitment to public service, the instinctive nature to want to help people and save lives and do right by our community is stronger than ever. We expect a lot from you, but you always serve us well. Our city is safer as a result of your work, both on and off duty, each and every day. While today we honor over 40 individuals who have gone above and beyond their service to the people of Seattle, I want to take a moment and recognize all our public safety employees and first responders for the work that you do to keep our city safe. Your dedication to our great city is incredible. Congratulations, and thank you again for your service.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's starting to enjoy your lunch. My name is Harold Scoggins, Fire Chief, and I can't tell you how excited I am about this day. You know, 4 years in the making, and we've come a long way to when we first did this 4 years ago. I want to thank Mayor Durkin and the members of the council for their ongoing support of the Seattle Fire Department. It means a great deal. We wouldn't be able to do all the things that we do without the ongoing support. I also want to thank Councilmember Mosqueda and Bagshaw, who are here with us today. Your presence means a lot to our firefighters, seeing their elected officials. You know, I'm excited for you to hear about the great work that goes on in the Seattle Fire Department each and every day. But please believe me, this is only a snapshot of the work that goes on each and every day. In 2018, we moved the ball in many different areas. One of the areas we moved the ball in is we launched the Vault Fire Response Team. This team has become a nationally recognized team. Under the leadership of Fire Captain Chris Green and the members at 25, this team has really taken off. Do we have any members here from 25, or is Captain Green here? Oh, in the back of the room, there he is. You know, thank you for that great work. Another program change we made was to our cadet program. Each year we would bring in SYEP, Seattle Youth Employment kids. They would sit in an office all summer long, and I didn't really see the learning and development. So I talked to Lieutenant Keith Wyatt, and he built an SYEP cadet program that we launched last year. And there's been a couple of benefits from that. A couple of those cadets actually joined our program, and one of them joined our community language translators, so we had added benefits that way. So we've been growing there. And one of the programs that I'm most proud of is our Seattle Fire Department Executive Leadership Academy. We built this under the direction of Dr. Christina Fong and Bruce Avoli from the University of Washington Foster School of Business, and next month we will actually be graduating. Our leaders have had a chance to experience leadership lessons and conversations and educations from places like Alaska Airlines. Last Friday we spent the afternoon with Coach Chris Peterson and the University of Washington Husky football team talking about built to last, resilient leadership. Next month, we will be graduating on June 14th. 33 leaders, 27 are from Seattle, and 6 are from our surrounding agencies. And that's just a snapshot of some of the work that has been going on. We've also been a little busy responding to emergencies. In 2018, our dispatchers received over 150,000 emergency phone calls for service, which resulted in about 96,000 emergency responses out into the field. These are the things that you don't see every day. Each month, our units are responding to about 8,000 emergencies each and every month. That's about 270 to 275 every day. And most of them you don't see. But the last couple of months have been a little bit different. And I want to talk about that a little bit. One, we had a hazmat incident with the actual radiation release at Harborview Medical Center. Our hazmat team is one of the nationally recognized hazmat teams. This is my 30th year of service, and I've never seen an actual radiation release. Our team went in there, solved the problem, deconned the individuals, got them to the help that they needed so they can be around to talk about it for another day. Lieutenant Manning and Lieutenant Kimball, are you in the room today? I'd like you to stand up and be acknowledged at the back of the room right there. Many of you witnessed that tragic day where the crane came down in South Lake Union, and our rescue team responded, not just on that day, but the next day after, with many of our firefighters to get in there, triage the patients, and get them to definitive help where they need it. That's another one of our teams that's so incredible. They travel all around the world helping others out. And it's important for you to know that on that same afternoon, at that same time, there were 5 individuals in the water that required a water rescue. You never heard about that. You didn't even know it happened because the crane had came down. But our members were also in the water at the same time that the crane came down. And that's important. And we all remember that afternoon, late in the day, when that tragic shooting happened in Lake City. And that stopped us all. It touched us all, our medics, our firefighters, our chiefs, with our partners from SPD. You know, we went in there and we did the best we could to save lives. But there was an individual who made a significant impact who's here with us today. I would like Metro bus driver Eric Stark to please stand up and be acknowledged. That's one of those events that just happens. It just unfolds. This is an individual in our community who was shot in the chest, had passengers on his bus, had the mindset and wherewithal to get those passengers to safety. He is truly a community hero, and thank you for acknowledging him for that. We're excited about where we're going in the Seattle Fire Department. As you know, we got many challenges ahead of us. And one of the things that I'm most proud about is we've been talking to a number of community members about the challenges that we face. And about a year ago, we started having conversations about how to move that forward, how to stand up a group to help the Seattle Fire Department. I'm proud to announce to you today that we have officially formed a Seattle Fire Foundation. And I would like to invite our chairwoman up to the podium to say a few words, Chairwoman Lindsay Pflugrath.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I am absolutely delighted and very honored to be part of introducing the official nonprofit of the Seattle Fire Department, the Seattle Fire Foundation, today. I'm going to take just a little time to tell you just a little bit about what we intend to do. But I think you've heard already from Deputy Mayor Fong and also from Chief Scoggins that the role of our firefighters is evolving. They have always been charged with fighting fires, but now roughly 85% of the calls that they respond to have nothing to do with fire. And they are increasingly being asked to step into volatile situations that present increased risk. And so as part of our mission, the Fire Foundation is going to raise funds to equip our firefighters with the tools they need to be safe when they are responding to crisis situations. Our primary goal is going to be, our first initiative is going to be raising funds for custom designed ballistic gear for our firefighters. We have a goal, thank you. We have a goal of purchasing 250 custom designed ballistic suits for our firefighters this year. And I am very pleased to report that with the assistance of our sponsors on the slide, we have raised $50,000 in the last 30 days. And we will be immediately purchasing 40 ballistic gear suits for the fire department immediately. We believe with the support of the community, we will be able to raise the funds to purchase the rest of the gear that's needed. In addition to the need for ballistic gear, we believe that there is a need to raise funds for fire safety education in our schools, which is no longer a part of the basic curriculum in our schools. So I don't know about all of you, but when I was in kindergarten and beyond, I learned to stop, drop, and roll. And I learned that I was not to put water on a grease fire. And unfortunately, our children are not being given that basic education right now. And so we, as the Fire Foundation, are going to raise funds to support that critical life safety education. I want to acknowledge our Executive Director, Debbie Peppa, who's in front of me. Debbie has worked tirelessly to bring the foundation to fruition. And also, thank you, Debbie. And also our Board of Directors, all of whom are here today. If you all could please stand. Thank you. We are here today so that you can come and talk with us about the foundation and so that you can learn about how you can get involved. You can also visit our newly launched website, which is seattlefirefoundation.org. And we are really, really excited to partner with all of you to do this important work. I'll close by saying on behalf of the board and on behalf of the foundation, a sincere thank you to all of you here who are firefighters, who are first responders. We know that you are ready at any moment to help any of us in this great city and to keep us safe. And you truly put your lives on the line to do that. And so we are thrilled and we are honored to support you in whatever way we can in the same way that you support us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So as I close, I want to, finish like I started. I'm really excited for all of you to hear the great work that our people are doing each and every day. And please, at the end of the program or sometime in the next hour or so, find a firefighter that you don't know, say hello, build a connection, and express appreciation. I tell our firefighters all the time, I'm a bit lucky. I get to go out to a lot of community events, and I actually get to hear the thanks from the community. Our firefighters may not hear that each and every day, or they may not hear it enough. And that's why when Eric Stark reached out and said he wanted to meet the paramedics who worked on him, we facilitated that and make that happen. So please enjoy the afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Tom.
And now I'm happy to introduce the president of Local 27, Lieutenant Kenny Stewart.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Kenny Stewart. I'm president of Seattle Firefighters Union, IFF Local 27, representing the almost 1,000 of the best firefighters and paramedics in the country, right here in Seattle. I'm also a 24-year veteran as of 3 weeks ago with the Seattle Fire Department. I work on Ladder 8 in Ballard. Let me start by saying thank you to Chief Scoggins for making sure that excellence in our fire department and our community is recognized and honored. That doesn't just happen. I also want to thank Seattle for Rotary for once again hosting the annual Seattle Fire Department Awards ceremony. What a great partnership for our community. I want to thank them once again with a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize the Unite Here Local 8 workers who prepared this room, who are serving us lunch, and who will be cleaning up when we're done. Thank you very much to them for their hard work today. And lastly, I need to give a shout out to Council Member Sally Bagshaw sitting up here in front for working so hard with us over the last several years of her career, and especially recently to implement our new Health One program so we can address the homelessness crisis and make sure that Seattle firefighters are ready and prepared to respond to those critical incidents. So thank you very much. So all of today's honorees are worthy of being recognized for going above and beyond the call of duty as a firefighter, or for demonstrating the type of courage, service, and selflessness that we value as firefighters. I also know how hard it is each year to select the Firefighter of the Year, the Chief of the Year, and all of the other award recipients. Because the truth is, I work with the most dedicated firefighters, chiefs, and our civilians that you'll find anywhere in the fire service. In my opinion, there are a lot of people in our department and in our community that can be awarded and recognized for their incredible service. Now, in the fire department, these efforts are often dangerous and sometimes spectacular, but there are just as many instances of selfless service that may seem routine and insignificant. I want you to know that your Seattle firefighters are working harder than ever, responding to an ever-increasing number of emergency response calls and facing the numerous challenges of our fast-growing city. In addition to our normal workload of fires and heart attacks, emergency medical incidents, and car accidents, firefighters are on the front lines of issues related to density, affordable housing, homelessness, mental health, and the opioid crisis. Our mission has not changed. However, our role has expanded beyond mitigating emergencies. And on a daily basis, our efforts contribute to ensuring that those living on the margins, facing tough times, and just as well, our regular everyday families and business owners can live and work in a safe and healthy community. This is an obvious parallel to my read of the mission of Seattle 4 Rotary, service above self to benefit the greater community. So today, as we highlight the bravery and selfless actions that today's award winners have demonstrated, I couldn't be more proud to be here to celebrate all of these achievements and this contribution to our city with the Seattle 4 Rotary. So on behalf of Seattle Firefighters Local 27, I applaud all of today's honorees. Thank you.
Kenny, thank you for those comments, and Chief Scoggins as well. Thank you so much. All right, at this point, we'd like to thank and recognize Seattle firefighters who are currently deployed.
We have many active military reservists in the Seattle Fire Department. 3 are currently on deployment serving with their military unit. Lieutenant Chris Carter from Engine 29 has been deployed for almost 2 years and is returning to Seattle in a few weeks. Captain David Pagan from Ladder 8 has been deployed since May 2017 and is also due to return in June. And finally, firefighter Tyler Renner of Engine 6 recently departed for a 1-year deployment.
So at this point, we're going to step away from the mic, enjoy your lunch. We'll take a very short break, and the program will continue in just a bit. Thanks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention, please. We will now begin announcing the 2018 award winners for Seattle Fire Department. The following administrative citation is for fire department units or work groups that performed with a degree of excellence or proficiency that sets the unit apart. Again, if I could have your attention, please. Thank you. Our first award is given to Lieutenant John Goins, Lieutenant Josh Pearson, Paramedic Mickey Mann, and Chief Warehouser Sunday Garner. Over 2 months last summer, the Seattle Fire and Seattle Police Departments trained together on responding to an active shooter situation. As part of that, firefighters practiced using ballistic gear, an unfortunate reality of our time. They shared protocol with Seattle Police, the extensive investment of time to develop and conduct the training, as well as the work to develop new policy and deploy the protective gear, could not have happened without the contributions of these four. So please give a round of applause to Lieutenant John Goins, Lieutenant Josh Pearson, Paramedic Mickey Mann, and Chief Warehouser Sunday Garner. Congratulations.
Now we will recognize those receiving commendations, which honor individual actions performed with excellence or proficiency that sets them apart from their peers. Leaning into his high level of technical knowledge and fire experience, Lieutenant Ian Bennett created and implemented the Seattle Fire Department's flow and move training to better train firefighters in fire attack on the hose line. Lieutenant Bennett developed curriculum, assembled and trained a cadre of instructors, and delivered a block of instruction that is concise, fire science-based, and well-received. Lieutenant Ian Bennett.
Next up, Lieutenants Steve Crothers and Tim Frank dedicated a significant amount of their time developing and delivering the Seattle Fire Department's first Aerial Operator Academy, which launched in 2018. They took on this effort through their own initiative, which also represented a significant and positive shift in culture for the operations division. This shift will improve truck company operational effectiveness throughout the city of Seattle, resulting in a higher level of service to our community. Thank you, Lieutenant Steve Crothers and Tim Frank.
Battalion Chief Jeff Wall and firefighter Josh Materi partnered to develop and deliver an elevator rescue class for ladder companies, which is advancing the fire department's skill set and the safety of elevator rescue operations. Because of this class, 42 companies from Seattle Fire and another 27 from around King County have grown in their proficiency at the art of elevator rescue. The fire department now has new, more effective elevator rescue techniques that will enhance safety for firefighters and the members of the public they serve. Battalion Chief Jeff Wall and firefighter Josh Materi.
Battalion Chief Casey Phillips, firefighter Matt Lujan, and firefighter Aaron Fields came up with a new way of configuring the hose bed layout on engines. Because of their extensive understanding of hydraulics, hose deployment models, and water flows required to fight all kinds of fires, the three of them could implement this highly effective new layout. They also coordinated the necessary resources to update engines and delivered the necessary training for personnel. Battalion Chief Casey Phillips, firefighter Matt Lujan, and firefighter Aaron Fields. Congratulations.
For many years, firefighters Roger Bianchi and Scott Kallstrom have coordinated logistical support for all manner of Seattle Fire Department activities, including special events, large-scale training exercises, ceremonial events, and memorials. As senior logisticians, firefighters Bianchi and Kallstrom have become a valuable pair for procuring, delivering, and deploying fire department equipment. Firefighters Roger Bianchi and Scott Kallstrom.
Just a quick note about these two. They work at Station 10, our busiest station in the city. They're a part of our hazmat team. They're in the places that most people won't go, serving people. What they do is a lot more than what you just heard. These two individuals, along with all the firefighters who operate out of Station 10, they do incredible work in the most difficult environment in the city, serving the community each and every day. So thank you very much, Roger.
While traveling near the summit of Mount Walker on Highway 101 last May, firefighter Paul Guerra came upon the scene of a motorcyclist who had collided with a pickup truck pulling a large carnival trailer. Firefighter Guerra provided medical assistance to this critically wounded individual until local first responders could get there. Even after they were on the scene, firefighter Guerra continued to help the crews prepare the patient for airlift. So even off duty, they are still on duty. Thank you, firefighter Paul Guerra.
Lieutenant Spencer Nelson and his family were vacationing on Oahu in February of last year when he became aware that a woman was being pulled from the surf at Sharks Cove. She wasn't breathing. He scrambled down 2 cliffs to the patient and performed CPR until local first responders were able to get to the scene. Lieutenant Nelson continued to assist the crews with transporting the patient up the difficult trail path to the stage medic unit. Lieutenant Spencer Nelson.
In late December, firefighters Landon Lopez and Marissa Luchow were headed southbound on Interstate 5 near Federal Way when they came across the scene of a high-speed motorcycle accident. The injured individual was found at the end of a debris field almost 200 yards long and had lost an arm and part of a leg. Together, the two of them quickly began helping the patient, providing assistance instrumental in saving the victim's life. Firefighters Landon Lopez and Marissa Luchow, congratulations.
On August 3rd, while assigned to Seafair as one of Seattle Fire's rescue swimmer team members, firefighter John Gorman observed an adult man and 2 children in the water. Rescue swimmers made contact with the man and were told several times that their assistance was unneeded. Soon after, firefighter Gorman saw the man and child go underwater. He immediately entered the water, pulling the man and child out while a nearby boat pulled the second child to safety. Firefighter John Gorman.
I'm not going to let him leave because if some of you were here last year, you may remember that this was a program that we acknowledged the individuals who stood this up last year, and we had rescues last year. This is another rescue from a new program, another Seattle firefighter making a difference. Congratulations.
Last April, Lieutenant Joshua McBride came upon a serious multi-vehicle accident near the summit of Snoqualmie Pass. In assessing the scene, Lieutenant McBride found the most seriously injured patient inside of a van, unconscious, not breathing. He got into the van, adjusted the seat, which allowed the man to begin breathing again. Once first responders arrived, Lieutenant McBride helped extricate the man and prepared him for medical transport. Lieutenant Joshua McBride.
And this is how we know we're making a difference. The person that Lieutenant McBride stopped that afternoon to help is here in the room. Skip, would you mind standing up or be acknowledged right there? Thank you.
Last February, during a winter morning commute to Seattle to work at Station 33 on his debit day, firefighter Chris Quinlan witnessed a pickup going in the opposite direction crash into a section of Jersey barrier on I-5 near Chehalis. Firefighter Quinlan pulled over, called 911, and directed traffic as best he could with a flashlight. Despite his best efforts, 2 semi-tractor trailers hit the pickup, causing it to burst into flames. He leapt over the barrier, ran to the pickup, and pulled the victim out to safety. For this, the Chehalis Fire Department awarded firefighter Quinlan with the Medal of Valor. And in case you're wondering, yes, he made it to work for his debit day at Engine 33. Firefighter Chris Quinlan.
So we're going to have firefighter Quinlan stay on stage because this is not the only active service he's being recognized for today. While at home last fall, he responded to an emergency happening right next door. A man had been topping a tree and had fallen about 40 feet to the ground, with the top half of the tree falling on top of him. Firefighter Quinlan cut the limbs in the trunk of the tree and with the help of his wife and 2 daughters, rolled the remaining pieces off of the victim. Firefighter Quinlan reassessed the man and removed a rope that was around the man's neck. He helped the Mossy Rock volunteer fire crews in preparing the man for airlift. So once again, Firefighter Quinlan, congratulations.
On August 19th, firefighter Paul Hansen and his family came upon a brush fire near his neighbor's home. After alerting the neighbors and calling 911, firefighter Hansen donned his Seattle Fire coveralls and drove his backhoe through the flames to clear brush, trees, and objects ahead of the fire. He continued to work his backhoe until it overheated. At that point, he transitioned to help the responding firefighters with their hose line. In all, he continued to assist the local fire department for the next few days until all hot spots were extinguished. Firefighter Paul Hansen.
So this next category recognizes a fire department member who has invested a significant amount of time or effort in activities outside their regular scope of work. Firefighter Jonathan Helton is receiving the Meritorious Achievement Award today for his initiative to develop a program to educate, train, and provide coordination among the department's pump operators. Through his effort, Firefighter Helton has increased and elevated the operations of pump operators at fire scenes. His vast knowledge and experience, coupled with a high level of initiative and commitment to excellence, has allowed him to create a training program that increases the department's ability to save lives and protect property. Firefighter Jonathan Helton.
I was just talking to Firefighter Helton briefly about this is one of those ideas that was born from the ground up. I remember when he came, had an idea, presented it to the leadership team. We got behind it because it was a good idea, and now it's in place as a part of our operations. So thank you very much. Thank you, Chief.
We'd like to take a few minutes now to acknowledge members of the community and other agencies for their contributions to the safety of others. This first certificate of recognition is given to members of Seattle City Light. Seattle Fire and Seattle City Light formalized in June a first-of-its-kind-in-the-nation partnership for fighting electrical vault fires. But the work between the department and Seattle City Light goes back several years. Having the only true vault response team in the nation would not be possible without the hard work and commitment of our partners at City Light, Brian Belger, Hamed Zagal, Bernie Zamanek, Lester Eastlick, Charles Mahar, Nut Nguyen, and Michelle Vargo. Their contribution continues to this day, and we thank each of you for your efforts. Thank you, Seattle City Light.
Fallon Sullivan is a crew instructor in Seattle. On a Saturday last October, she was working with the Seattle Fire Department's Executive Leadership Academy, teaching them about teamwork through rowing when a woman jumped from the nearby University Bridge. Fallon heard the woman enter the water. Realizing what had happened, she rowed over and rescued the woman from the cold water. Chief Scoggins was there that day on the water. He complimented Fallon's composure, skill, and courage in keeping this woman safe until responders could reach them and assist. Fallon Sullivan, congratulations.
I have to talk about the incredible courage of this young woman. It's like Mark said, day two of the Executive Leadership Academy, someone jumps off the bridge. You can't make that up. We have rowers, very new rowers, in boats. But this was one of our instructors. Not only was she giving us guidance on how to stay safe on the water, she also went into action when someone needed it. I think it's so incredible that we have young people and people around this community who are willing to risk themselves to save others. So thank you very much, Fallon.
On November 18th, Krista and Leo Rebus rescued a man from his sinking boat, took him to shore, and provided him with dry clothes and money for a hotel. Soon after the man was rescued, his 35-foot vessel sunk into Puget Sound. Their actions were not only generous in spirit, but may very well have saved his life. Krista and Leo Rebus.
So they are not here, so we'll move on to this. It was a hot July day when Michael and Michelle Welch were boating with friends near Discovery Park when they saw a young swimmer in the water who needed help. They got to the child and pulled him into the boat. The boy managed to alert them that his friend was still in the water and in grave danger. The Welches were able to retrieve that second child who was face down and got both into the hands of emergency responders. Michael and Michelle Welch, thank you.
Last May, Seattle police officer Chris Coué responded to a call about a man who was in crisis. He had already mutilated a part of his body and was close to injuring himself further when Officer Coué arrived and intervened. Firefighters who responded to the scene said they saw Officer Coué sitting alongside the man, holding his hand and talking about further self-harm. Officer Coué's calm demeanor was instrumental in de-escalating the situation and helping this man in crisis. Officer Chris Coué. Now it's time to turn our attention to the Employees of the Year for 2018. These individuals have demonstrated incredible service to both our internal and external customers, performing above and beyond expectations.
Seattle Fire is a vital part of the community, and this award recognizes a member who has donated considerable time and effort voluntarily for the betterment of the community. Take a look at the screens if you would.
I'm Travis Stanley, assigned to Ladder 4 B shift, and I'm the driver on Ladder 4.
So Travis is my driver on Ladder 4. He's one of the most conscientious guys I've ever seen. I love working with him every day. He's one of my best friends, somebody I can really lean into when I need to. It's a blessing to have him on my crew. So the catalyst for me nominating Travis this year was that he made a humanitarian effort to go to Cambodia with a couple of other guys to bring equipment from Seattle Fire Department that were repaired from us, but still very useful, and to teach their police department auto extrication as well as first aid for them to respond, because they don't have a fire department that can do those things.
Before they had this training and these tools that were donated by the fire department, they literally used wreckers or tow trucks to pull the vehicles apart to get patients out. They're now going to have the tools to do that properly, and I believe it's going to be transformational for those patients that they have to work with.
He's done this a number of times where he's gone to a third world country, Vietnam a couple times, and now Cambodia. Travis just sees a need and it becomes part of him.
For me to have the opportunity and ability to deliver that sort of knowledge to people who've never received it before, just makes you feel good. I mean, it's you can see how much they enjoyed it. They hung on every word you said, filmed everything you were doing. The most rewarding portion is just watching how much they were appreciating it. I think most of us realize that most of us don't like to be publicly recognized for things. I wasn't doing it for any sort of recognition. I was just doing it because somebody needed the training.
Because of Travis's passion and his rationale and his willingness to go above and beyond really anybody that I know, that's why I'm nominating Travis Stanley for the Community Service Award.
Congratulations, firefighter Travis Stanley, Community Service Award recipient.
Dusty up here.
In a service organization, great customer service is something that is expected of all employees. However, this individual continually exceeds everyone's expectations.
I'm Margie Vile, and I'm the Department Grants and Contracts Manager. I manage the grants and reimbursable projects. I primarily work on the budgets and the fiscal monitoring, as well as the compliance and the reporting for the projects and the grants. In addition, I also write and manage the consultant contracts in the department.
Margie Vile is our grants and contracts manager. She works with our operations personnel so that we can go get those grant awards to help provide training, equipment, and so forth so they can do their jobs more effectively. Margie does an excellent job in providing financial oversight to the team.
I can't do the work that I do without the really good work that the department staff, both uniform and non-uniform, do here. This job is all about the team effort that goes into making it work and the successful completions of the projects and programs that we carry out.
So Margie's responsibilities, in addition to the grant management, includes contracts and legislation. And so there's an abundance of work that she has to manage. And she's willing and dedicated to provide whatever is necessary when it comes to time to make certain that those tasks are accomplished. She's a tremendous employee. She's amazing when it comes to meeting all her job responsibilities and duties.
I've been in public service for almost 30 years, all of my career actually. I feel very honored to be spending this time at the point in my career with the fire department.
It's her commitment, dedication, and relentless efforts as the reasons why I nominated Margie Vile for the Customer Service Award.
Congratulations, Grants and Contracts Manager Margie Vial, our Customer Service Award recipient.
Employee of the Year is awarded to the non-uniform member who carries out responsibilities in an exemplary fashion, always promoting a can-do attitude.
I'm Julie George. I'm a personnel specialist and I work on the 4th floor here at headquarters. I am responsible for the vacation balances for Local 2898 and Local 27. I take care of the short-term, long-term military leave.
Julie was able to assist those veteran firefighters in processing all the paperwork to make sure that their benefit was available to them in a timely manner. It was very important to them to receive that benefit for themselves and for their families. Julie's a warm and wonderful person. In fact, so much so, I asked her to be part of our peer support team. As part of that team, she cares for other people, listens when people are under stress, and is available to me at any time to use her skills as just a wonderful person.
Hey, good morning. This is Julie. Is Leo around? I have a recruiting event at Chief South High School. Are you available on...
Julie has an amazing work ethic. She comes in early, she leaves late, and there are many times where she's there on the weekend making sure that the work gets done.
I love working here. It's something new every day. I still learn something after 19 years. I work with a group of amazing people that have these incredible backgrounds. And as a civilian, it's an honor to work for the fire department. It was very humbling to be nominated by the operations folks. I view my job as they are my customers, and I do what I can to help them to make their job easier.
Because of Julie's commitment to service and her dedication to the job are the reasons why I nominated Julie George for Civilian of the Year.
Congratulations, Personnel Specialist Julie George, Employee of the Year.
Firefighter of the Year is someone who has a high regard for customer service, a dedication to excellence and innovation, and serves as a role model for others.
I'm Andy Finsa. I work at Station 2, Engine 2. I'm a tailboarder on Engine 2, position 4 commonly, so I fill in wherever needed on scenes and commonly the backup driver. I really enjoy working at Station 2, the downtown neighborhood. We got a diverse area we serve, lots of opportunities, and everyone that works down there really wants to work hard. It's a great group of people. So a few years ago, I just kind of noticed that our hydraulics program, or the process of moving and managing water through the fire engines, wasn't quite maybe where it could be. So reached out to others and kind of took the lead role on developing a training program and materials so that firefighters have the resources to learn this material. And we've been working hard on it. We still got a little ways to go, but really proud at where it's moving.
Well, Andy's had a big impact on our training guides for hydraulics. He's not only gone out and researched from different publications and books, but he's also reached out to our senior drivers, found out what they know, tries to document that as well. It's been really fun to watch how much he has grabbed onto that and is trying to pass on that knowledge to that next generation. But beyond that, Andy's been a member at Station 2 for over a decade. He's a strong team member. He's a strong and formal leader. He's a teacher at heart. His goals and aspiration is to be the next driver on Engine 2, and he's working hard to be that next guy coming up.
When I found out that I was nominated and accepted for this award, I was actually shocked. Just one of many working on this project and projects like it, and I'm honored but also humbled at this experience.
It's his hard work and his drive and his dedication to improving the Seattle Fire Department are all reasons why I nominated Andy for Firefighter of the Year.
Congratulations, Andrew Finsev, Engine 2 Firefighter of the Year.
Company officers are responsible for providing support, guidance, and direction to their crews every single day. They are the ones ensuring that the department responds quickly and safely to each emergency. They are constantly serving the needs of their crew and the community.
I'm Toby Graves. I'm a lieutenant assigned at Station 25. I've been in the department for 26 years. I've been here as a lieutenant at 25 for 20 of those. I got here in 1999 and found home. I love where I work. I've seen a lot of changes up here in Capitol Hill. I've had some people come and people go, but everybody I work with is awesome, and they all just love working here.
Lieutenant Graves is universally respected as a company officer. He's respected by firefighters, officers, and chiefs. He's a skills master. You can see him on a hose line. Like, you can see him on a hose line right now, just as well as standing in front of a fire, commanding the fire, or at an EMS scene, managing that scene. Over the last several years, we completely redid as an agency the way we operate at high-rise fires. And Lieutenant Graves was he played a huge role in that committee. He's also been super instrumental in the development of the Vault Response Team, which is a first of its kind unit in the nation that fights electrical fires in in-ground vaults.
The opportunities that I've been given here, the adventures that I've had, the people that I've met, all of those things just make it I was thinking just the other day about how happy my life is, and truly Seattle Fire is a big chunk of that.
Because of his constant professionalism, his abilities as a firefighter before being an officer, just the way that he is a subject matter expert in all of the ways that we operate. Those are all the reasons that I nominated Lieutenant Graves as Officer of the Year.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Toby Graves, Officer of the Year.
In much the same way that company officers support their crews, chiefs are responsible for ensuring that their members, battalions, and divisions are prepared for whatever comes their way.
I'm Chief Matt Rogers, and I work at Battalion 2. I'm an Operations Division Battalion Chief of Battalion 2, and it's up on Capitol Hill. And I love the job. I've been doing it for around 5 years now, and I just love running calls with the troops and keeping them safe and making sure we're doing what we need to do, and then protecting the citizens of Seattle. So it's very gratifying for me to be in that position and help the people that help the people, essentially.
How you doing, Paul? Good, Matt. How you doing? Good. How's the shift?
I've known Matt Rogers for over 20 years, worked with him as a battalion chief for the last 5 or so. I've worked with him at many emergency operations and also several department projects, including the Mayday program and the apparatus specifications, and his attention to detail in those is largely the reason for the success of those programs. Each time, Matt's impressed me with his knowledge, his commitment to the success of the project, and his enthusiasm in carrying that project out.
It's been really humbling for me. I've nominated many people over the years just because of all the hard work they do and the recognition that I'd like to give to them. But to be nominated personally, it's been even more humbling for me and my family. They know what this job means to me, and it's such an important job, and there's a lot of responsibility. So to take care of the people and the citizens of the community is very, very rewarding, and to be nominated for something like that is even a greater note. So I appreciate that.
It's his loyalty, integrity, and professionalism. Those are the reasons I nominated Matt Rogers for Chief of the Year.
Congratulations, Battalion Chief Matt Rogers, Chief of the Year.
Next up is the Lifetime Achievement Award. Seattle Fire Department is a place of incredible loyalty and dedication. This award recognizes the person who has devoted much of his or her life in service through the Seattle Fire Department.
I'm Ed Peterson. I was a lieutenant on Ladder 1 at Fire Station 10, and I've just retired after a 35-year career. I've worked for the past 23, 24 years as a lieutenant at Fire Station 10. Our response district is the downtown corridor, the International District, and Pioneer Square. We have an associated duty of being the hazardous materials responders for the city, so we get all over. It's a very dynamic clientele, as is all our employees there. We have 60 people who work at the station over 4 shifts, and so it's a really fun place to work, and there's a lot going on all the time.
Ed's commitment to the hazmat team and the Seattle Fire Department are unrivaled. He's been integral in policy development and our operating procedures his entire career. Ed has probably the most persuasive ability of anybody I've ever met. We can go into a meeting and know that there is a problem or something that we may want, and he will have it turned around as the other person's idea by the time we leave. It creates an environment where we know that we have a chance, and we know that we're moving forward, and that he's going to follow through.
So the thing I'll miss most about the job, of course, is the people. The people I've had the privilege to work with, the people I've had the privilege to serve. All the various members of the different communities that we interact with, along with our fellow responders and public agencies. A lot of extraordinary people out there in this city doing great work, and that's what I'll miss.
Lieutenant Peterson's integrity, empathy, and accountability are the reasons that I nominated him for the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Ed Peterson, Lifetime Achievement Award.
This next award recognizes actions performed by a unit or work group in both hazardous and non-hazardous conditions. Today we've been celebrating great acts of service, and for the next few minutes we have the opportunity to hear firsthand the impact of those actions from someone whose life was saved by the actions of the people who will soon gather behind me on stage. I'd like to invite firefighter paramedic Mickey Mann to the stage.
All right, before I give a incredible tale of what happened in January of 2018 on the Puget Sound, I'd like to invite all the agencies that were directly involved in this incident, which includes the Coast Guard members that were on the boat or the helicopter that morning. If you could come up here. The Vic, if you want to come up. And Vic is with the ferry. And anybody else? I don't know if your first mate is here or not. Engine 32, Engine 37, members that were there that night, or that morning, rather. Harborview, the OR, the ER, the OR, or the trauma ICU. If you guys are here and involved in this case, please come up to the stand. So it's a bit of a tale, so I'll start while the members are filing up. I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. Sometime after midnight on a cold Sunday morning, January 2018, a 21-year-old woman and her adventurous companion slid their 15-foot paddle boat off a low, gravelly shore into the wintry waters at Three Tree Point in Burien. A few hours later, Dina would return to a different shore in a fight for her life. At 2:53 a.m., Coast Guard Sector Puget Sound watchstanders were notified by King County Dispatch, 2 mariners in trouble. They had no life vests, their boat was sinking, the race was on. 45-foot response boat from Seattle and an MH-46 Dolphin helicopter from Port Angeles launched. Help was 10 miles by sea and 60 miles by air. Odds were poor and no specific search area. A scream, sudden loss of cell connection, moderate rainfall, 47-degree air and water temperatures, sustained winds of 21 miles an hour, and gusts up to 35. 4-foot seas, and perhaps the most significant of the challenges, only the tip of the boat bobbed above the surface, and the 2 motionless mariners had also drifted apart. The challenges made it impossible to locate them horizontally. In fact, it was reported that the rescue boat from Seattle missed them by about 7 yards. That's how bad the weather was. It would have to be the helicopter. To add to the complications of these conditions, the seasoned pilot could not afford an extra crew member to use the heat detection equipment. All eyes were needed to scan the surface for the hazards in the bodies. So Dina was discovered roughly 1 mile from shore. 2 hours had passed since the initial call for help to when she was dragged onto the Coast Guard boat, dragged her by her hair to what everyone in this room would think just looked like a mop of seaweed. Once on board, the helicopter pilot had to make the kind of decision no one wants to make. Race Dina to the Fauntleroy ferry dock or wait until her companion was found. You see, if there was only one boat on station and it were to leave, the companion would need to be basketed into the helicopter and taken to Boeing Field to rendezvous with the fire department. It's a dangerous and time-consuming procedure. The decision was made. Dina would continue her race to survive, and the helicopter crew would continue their search. It took several minutes to find Tyler, her companion, several precious minutes that validated the prescient decision of the pilot. Dina was halfway to the ferry terminal when he was found. Transferring bodies is tough, and stopping CPR is bad. The Washington State Ferry was docked for a crew rotation, although counterintuitively, this is actually in Dina's favor. See, to transfer her from a 45-foot boat to shore to beach to medic unit would have been challenging, but transferring her directly onto a ferry was actually easy. Ferries have a procedure for this, and unfortunately, the off-going ferry captain had been monitoring the radio traffic. The ferry was waiting. Dina was transferred quickly from the response boat into the idling medic unit sitting on the ferry. First impression blue, second impression cold, third impression asystolic. Dina was walking a tightrope, an almost invisible tightrope. Cold patients are fragile, and Dina was later discovered to be 77 degrees. Once in the medic unit, the resuscitation continued. CPR to maintain circulation, intubation to protect her airway, IVs and medications to make the CPR more effective and stabilize her acidosis. According with the doctors at Harborview for the next phase, we had initiated advanced care in the field, but her fight wouldn't switch from defense to offense until she was in the basement of Harborview. Once in the emergency department, they attached a medical device to take over chest compressions and prepare Dina for the OR. You see, they prepared her for a procedure that, for extreme hypothermic resuscitation, was more theory than practice. Again, fortune favored Dina. Waiting for her in the operating room was an exceptionally well-qualified surgical team led by Dr. Eileen Bolger, Chief of Trauma and Trauma Medicine at Harborview, and a machine about the size of a toaster. The ECMO machine is a miniature machine that takes over for the heart and lungs. It draws blood from a major vein, adds oxygen, strips out the carbon dioxide, warms it up, pumps it back in. By the time Dina was placed on ECMO, her heart and lungs had not been functioning properly for 2.5 hours. The tightrope just got wider. 20 minutes had passed, and Dina's temperature had risen to 90 degrees. The apotheosis had finally arrived. With 200 joules of electricity, Dina's heart was shocked into a normal rhythm, and Dina was now in the offense. After another 20 minutes had passed, her pupils became reactive. She started to initiate her own breathing, but the fight was not over. It remains difficult to predict how the brain and heart will recover after 2.5 hours of CPR and a 77-degree body temperature. Those are tough odds. But despite the odds, Dina continued to recover, and by 8 p.m. that evening, she began following commands. Day 2, ECMO tubes taken out. Day 3, breathing tubes taken out. Day 4, moved from the ICU to acute care, and on day 7, she was discharged home with no further rehab. The story is a story of courage, professionalism, and teamwork that we should be proud of, both as contributing members and the broader community that supports what we do. Look at these people. All these people contributed to this. And for the next few minutes, we get to hear firsthand, hopefully, if she can make it through like I'm not, the impact of this call from Dina and what she calls her accident.
Hi all, I'm Dina Hernandez. I'm a little nervous, so I'm gonna catch my breath. I'm Dina Hernandez, or to some of you here, people on stage, I'm a living miracle. I want to start off by giving a massive thanks to everyone who was involved in my accident and didn't give up hope. From the ones who it was their first time on call, their first time that night, and to the ones who have been doing this for years. If it weren't for each and every one of you that night not giving up on me, as well as that incredible ECMO machine that had just come out, I wouldn't be here today. As you heard it from Mickey, my accident was very intense and had a lot to do with timing. From the helicopters that spotlighted me, the Coast Guards rushing towards me, and to the ferry crew being there at that time. Dr. Bolger being present, everything was revolving around time and how much time I had left. I was clinging to my last straw. To be honest with everyone here, hearing about my accident gives me chills. Because of the fact that I was nearly dead, I can't picture how horrifying I looked and how horrifying it was to my family, as well as Tyler's family, my partner. I lost my boyfriend, Tyler Ingram, in that accident. Because of the trauma and nearly dying, I don't remember anything that happened to me, not even what occurred before my accident. What I can tell you is the experience I had during my coma and after I awoke. Everyone always asks, did you see God, did you see anything weird, or did you see yourself? No, I didn't see any of that. All I saw was a white background like a bright white light. Even though my family was next to me praying and talking to me, I couldn't hear anyone. At one point, my sister told me that she was next to the hospital bed where I was laying after I woke up from my coma, saying, "Dina, you can't leave yet. You can't leave me. You promised we would grow old and share with each other our stories of life. Tell me you're in there somewhere. Give me a sign." After she finished saying that, I kid you not, I subconsciously gave her the okay sign. She began to cry that instant because she knew there was a little hope, a little part of me inside was still there, fighting for life, not ready to give up yet. As hours and days went by, I was progressing slowly, but I still hadn't awoke or given many vital signals. The doctors then began to try pain stimulation on me because if I didn't wake up soon, the plug was going to be pulled. So as the doctors are pinching and pricking at my feet, keep in mind I already have a hard time feeling any kind of pain in my feet due to many years of soccer and getting stepped on by cleats. But after many attempts, it worked. Have you guys ever seen the movie Kill Bill? The main character, the blonde woman, is in her hospital bed telling herself, "Wiggle your big toe." That's kind of what happened to me in a way. Out of nowhere, like a dream, I heard my voice while still seeing nothing but the white light. My voice saying, "Wiggle your big toe, wiggle your big toe." Repeatedly, my family had told me that I was moving my feet and then trying to move my legs. Suddenly, after repeating to myself, "Wiggle your big toe," I awoke with no memory of what happened, nor where I was. Heck, I thought Obama was still president. I felt as if I had the best sleep of my life, but I couldn't recall a thing. Shortly after, I was told about what happened, my accident, the loss of my loved one, and how I was connected to a machine, had breathing tubes down my throat, and had a 2.5 hour CPR session. I couldn't believe it. It felt surreal. I couldn't accept the fact that Tyler didn't make it. I kept thinking maybe he's stuck in traffic or maybe he's working. But in reality, he passed away. They couldn't resuscitate him. Till this day, he is my guardian angel. Not long after I was moved into a hospital room, the nurses were conducting quite a few tests on me, making sure all my vitals were in check. I remember there was a cognitive test I took. They wanted to see if there was any neurological damage I had gotten due to my accident. I passed them all with flying colors, and I remember I told my mom, "Wow, those tests were easy. They were like an elementary test. Do they think I'm dumb or something?" My mom just laughed and smiled teary-eyed. She thought, even after everything, she still has her sense of humor. I also remember there was a woman in the same room, kind of next door to me, separated by the hospital curtain, who was suffering from some kind of skin damage. I can't quite recall whether it was a burn or an infection. All I know is she would be in pain whenever she had her bandages replaced. I walked over slowly one day, still unable to move quickly due to the removal surgery from the machine connected to a vein in my upper thigh area. I felt as if I had ran a marathon. I walked over and I tried to make her laugh, to ease her mind from the pain she was in. I wanted to be helpful because we were both in pain in some way. On my last day, I gave her a teddy bear that was gifted to me. I told her it's not much, but I don't want you to feel alone and think of the funny stuff when I'm gone. I still had the big, caring heart. This accident has changed my life and the lives of those who were involved that night. I am forever grateful. It has altered my mindset into thinking that not everything flows smoothly and that nothing is permanent. As well as having a greater appreciation towards life as I now have a second chance. I will be a better version of myself, be more aware of the consequences to my actions, and I really do believe in the power of teamwork. And to the Coast Guards who were there, my mom said I had called you guys cute. I don't take it back, and I don't remember doing that, but I do want to apologize because that's embarrassing. Thank you all for your time, for listening, and thank you to the amazing people involved. Doctors, nurses staying up all night, the helicopter crew, the Coast Guards, medics, ambulance, and the Washington State Ferry. Thank you, everyone. Last but not least, thank you, God, for a second chance at life. This is my story of my accident, which has changed me for the rest of my life.
As everyone is standing, and you've heard it already, I just want to make sure that we can truly acknowledge the connections that it takes for success. The Coast Guard, the ferries, Seattle Fire, Harborview, the right physician being on duty. Dina, we're glad you're here. You're a blessing to the community. Please keep sharing. You give us all hope and belief that we can be successful, so thank you. And thank you all. Congratulations.
For their parts in this rescue, Medic 32, Engine 32, and Engine 37 are receiving a unit citation. We're also recognizing personnel from the U.S. Coast Guard, Washington State Ferries, and Harborview Medical Centers for their role. Their efforts in the water, on land, and in the hospital made today's reunion possible.
Not sure how I'm going to talk after that. Wow, that's an amazing story. All right, now for the Rotary Service Above Self Award. So Seattle Rotary Service Above Self Award recognizes every year community members who demonstrate care and concern for those in need, who give selflessly of their time and resources to improve our community and inspire others to take similar actions. They are exemplars of the Rotary model, service above self, and the Seattle Fire Department's mission of professional, effective, and compassionate service. I'd like to reintroduce Chief Scoggins, who will be presenting both the Seattle Fire Department and Seattle 4 Rotary. He wears two hats. We're proud to have him as a member for this special award, Chief.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to ask President Cindy to come to the podium, please, and present the award. Jason, would you mind coming up as I read a little bit about what happened? This year's Service Above Self Award is given to Jason Maxwell. Jason was working on the dock of Terminal 18 at Harbor Island last August when his attention was directed to something floating in the water about 100 feet east of the dock. Realizing it was a person, he called for help, jumped in the water, and swam over to the unconscious individual. Jason was able to help him into a small boat and gave CPR until the boat could be lifted by a crane to Terminal 18, where the medics took over. When Jason came to the Seattle Fire headquarters for a commendation ceremony a few weeks later, he was asked by the media what had gone through his mind. His response was, he said he acted out of instinct. His mother didn't like hearing that when he called her after he called her after the rescue. Jason put himself in great danger to make that rescue. The Duwamish waterway is not only cold, but it is a busy working waterway. He could have easily been injured. Jason, on behalf of Seattle 4 Rotary and the Seattle Fire Department, congratulations on receiving the 2018 Service Above Self Award.
Just want to say a final word before hopping off stage here. I just want to acknowledge Chief Harold Scoggins. The chief is a really active member and a leader in our Rotary Club of Seattle. He doesn't have to do that, but it shows his commitment to this community that he wants to serve above and beyond the role that he serves with the fire department, which is more than a full-time job. So Chief, we're very honored to have you as a member. Thank you so much for what you do. And I also wanted to thank Deputy Chief Tom Walsh for your role today. Tom, great job. Keep up the work. And just one final word, you guys. It's really clear that the fire department is a family, right? You're a family. Rotary is a family. And it's really meaningful for us that our two families could come together today because we truly want to honor you. And if nothing else, come away from today knowing that we truly appreciate the work that you do as firefighters and the behind-the-scenes staff. I know thank you is not enough for what you actually do. We'll never know how much you sacrifice to serve us, but know that we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I'd like to invite Chaplain Hodge up for the benediction.
Benediction means to speak of goodness. Our time together today has given voice to goodness all around and within the Seattle Fire Department. May today's celebration continue to bless us all with joy, with gratitude, and with deep peace.
Thank you.
Okay, so to close out this program today, well, congratulations, first of all, and thank you to all the award recipients and to the spouses and families and colleagues who support them. And so today couldn't have taken place without the help of very many people. So thanks to the Seattle Fire Department Awards Committee, the combined Seattle Fire Department and Rotary Awards Luncheon Committee, and the sponsors. Your efforts are what made this possible. Would you please all stand if you are part of this committee so that we can acknowledge you? Thank you. So I have a few more announcements to wrap up. If you loved this program of Impact, you can watch it again later this week on our YouTube channel. Catch it on our video archives at seattlerotary.org. Second, Seattle Fire members, please join Captain Steve Bear outside for a group photo in 10 minutes. Exit the Westin on the 5th Avenue side and take a left. Captain Bear will be there to greet you. And then finally, Rotarians, join us next week for Mayor Jenny Durkin here at the Westin. Thanks, everybody. We are adjourned.